We're back.
What's up, guys and girls, jiu-jitsu family, CTC owners, students all over the world. Great to see you again. Although we wish it could be under...
We don't wish anything.
We don't wish anything.
We're doing great. It's great to see you.
How are you guys?
We're seeing you guys.
Good.
They're doing great. Especially in this moment right now.
Boom.
Some of them have been waiting for this moment for the last 7 days.
6 days and 23 hours. Welcome back, you guys. Excited to be here. You may have a partner to practice with. You may not. We're going to go all the way. We're going to assume you have someone to practice with. You guys just follow right along. And let's dig deep. We want to share some of our favorite. We're talking about back mount today. This is back mount, chapter 5, master cycle.
Now, some people might not be following, doing every single move for move. That's okay.
You don't have to.
Even if you're only following by watching, you're following.
And it's on video.
And how much can be learned from watching? Lots. So don't feel like you have to, like, if we do the move 2 times or 3 times, you gotta do it 3 times at the exact same speed. And when we do this, you gotta do that. No, if you just stop and sit there for 15 minutes and just watch, it has value. Everything counts.
I love that. All right, well now you guys know.
Back mount, you said.
Back mount focus, chapter 5. Back mount became interesting. Well, Hidon has his own journeys in jiu-jitsu. I have my own journeys in jiu-jitsu where you develop certain aspects of your jiu-jitsu over time. My initial first one was foot locks as a young adult, 15, 16 years old, was ankle locks, toe hold foot locks, even some knee bars. All that was early. Then it came into guard. Foot locks got too easy. So then I started doing triangles, submissions, control from the guard, triple threat guard attack sequences. Then that got too easy. And then I wanted to go into, once you get really good at a category, we're talking about 2 to 3 years per journey.
Most of you can't even fathom that because they've only been training for, let's say, a year or 2 figuring this stuff out, and now 2-3 years
for one submission, one aspect of jiu-jitsu, spending 2 to 3 years easily.
I'm saying, if you've been training for 5 years,
yeah,
you're still on your first
chapter of growth.
Because the first part is the learning.
Yeah, just survival.
Getting your blue belt.
Yeah.
And after a year and a half, now the next 3 years, you're figuring out what you even want. So this is only possible because you are.
Well, the first one I didn't choose his leg locks, right?
No,
I didn't choose them.
I know, but this is only possible for you because you're somewhat of a jiu-jitsu
child.
You're a child of jiu-jitsu. So of course you have 3 years here, 3 years there, 3 years there.
True, but I'm saying
and that all happened before you were 16.
For them though, once they arrive to a certain level of proficiency, where they're actually like, deep blue, early purple, mid purple, and they're actually starting to like be able to control the fight in a way, right? That they're not being controlled 100% of the time and they have a choice. They're going to gravitate towards something. You guys are going to gravitate towards something. Is it Darce chokes? Is it back mount? Is it leg locks? Is it cross chokes? Whatever it is, you're gravitating towards something. Whatever that first gravitation is, accept that, embrace it. Don't reject it. Don't think, oh, I keep doing the same old, same old. No, do the same old, same old. Do the same things over and over until you become so good that it becomes relatively easy and effective for you to apply that whenever you want. Once that happens though, and you go, man, I'm good. It's almost like having a hand and you got a thumb now. Now you have one finger on your hand. Congratulations. You got a thumb.
Love that thumb.
Guess what though? If you would do everything with your thumb, you'll never grow an index finger. Right? If you can read, right? Walk, talk, eat, open, close doors, do everything with one thumb, why do you need the rest of your hand? So the key is to restrict your use of your thumb, and then you'll start branching off and enhancing the rest of your hand's natural capabilities that you just didn't know about, but you've got to discover them. So for me, that was leg locks, that was triangles, this was cross chokes and arm locks in the mount. And then started coming in back mount. This is like 3, 6, 9, 12 years, 15 years. And most of this happened like after black belt.
Could it be a year for them?
Yeah, it could be
a year. You could do a whole year of back mount, and that's a lot more than most people out there. So, and now doesn't mean that you're not still landing in side mount or landing in
No, I'm doing everything.
You're still landing
80-20, 80-20.
But yeah, 80-20.
When I'm in my focus, when I'm in my chapter, 80% of my submissions come from my position of focus.
When you're sparring, you just look to find yourself in that position a little more often.
That's true.
You're not holding somebody in your guard for 3-4 minutes, controlling guard when you're working on back mount.
Yes.
If you want to be proficient at back mount, get there, and not just taking people's backs. You can't just, for example, when it came to, let's say for me, for arm locks, it's not only about arm locking people, it's about being on the receiving end of the arm lock. So right now, if we're going to discuss back mount right now.
Both sides of it.
When you think of back mount, many of you have an idea. You think like, okay, yeah, I hate being there. I'm always stuck. And that depends on your experience lately over the past week, month, not the past week or month because you've been at home. But in the last few months of your training, how was back mount for you? Some of you say, yeah, I love back mount. I always do a bow and arrow from the back. You have your move. And some of you think of it more as it almost like it brings up negative memories. So I'm very neutral about it. I love people on my back. I love being on people's backs. So right now, as we dive into this, like always, it's not about amazing submissions from the back, which I have many that I love and you have many that you love, but it's also about the front positions, overall back mount immersion. And that's how you think about it. The better you are at submitting people, the better you'll be at defending people's attacks. And the better you are at defending people's attacks, the better you are at submitting. Everything feeds everything. One hand washes the other.
And both hands wash your face.
Oh my goodness.
You guys, not to mention, today at the end of our session today, Gracie giveaway dry flip rain jacket 2.0. The newest, improvest version. So hang around till the end. All of you guys are entered to win. It's raining somewhere right now. And someone's gonna get that dry flip 2.0. Camo and black, we have both. You get to choose whichever one you want. Let's get into it. So where do we start the discussion of back mount? The presumption is we've all learned basic back mount. If you haven't, Crazy Combatives, lesson number 4, rear naked choke, standard situation there. The real big change happened, right? If you want to just start by demonstrating that, you're on my back, right? You achieve the back mount scramble, you take someone's back from the mount.
What are you gonna start with right now?
Hooks in, you're gonna start by showing strong side, weak side chokes, and then we're gonna deviate right from that into how that changed into weak side for life.
So you're gonna start attacking.
Yes. You're taking my back.
Okay.
Check it out. So we talk about this in a basic sense, over under here. Hidon gets the over under, he has his hooks in, and he has my back. And we fall to this side. This is called the strong side. And the reason why it was called the strong side is because Gracie Combatives Basics, purely street fight. If the guy doesn't know any jiu-jitsu and wants to get away, look what he does. He just pins my wrist, wraps my neck, locks me up, and finishes the choke. That's why we call it the strong side, because falling towards the overhook of Hidons makes this side more advantageous, but strictly from a rear naked choke perspective. Is that fair to say? It's only strong for the choke. That's it. If we fall on the weak side, if we would have fallen to the side where my arm is under his arm, and he's over under like this, going for the same rear naked choke right here, he wraps, is problematic because the secondary arm that he would like to finish the choke with is trapped. Pull it out, it's just kind of stuck. And even if he's successful at getting it out, to wrap my neck right now is awkward because I'm falling this way out of the choke.
He's falling out of this arm.
Right, versus falling into this arm, which would be ideal for him. Which is why, if you're gonna do a rear naked choke on the weak side, he has to wrap my shoulder, pick me up, hand it off. Not has to, but ideally hand it off. So now I'm falling into the choking arm. So Hidon essentially created a strong side out of the weak side because he wants to choke me out.
This is especially important against somebody who understands how putting their back, someone in Henner's position who understands putting your back on the mat is probably the key principle for defending back mount. Because if your back is on the mat, then the person's not on your back.
There you go. The mat is my friend. I want to get my back on the mat at all costs. And having to switch the hands back, strong side, makes that more possible. Because even though I am more chokeable right here, go ahead, look, boom, and boom. The choke is easier. However, Hidon's control of my back and my shoulders is reduced when he has this overhook. So if I'm just going to escape, purely escape his back mount, I would start to lay inside, I would start to turn my pelvis, I'd start to kill the hook. Little by little, look, my back is now on the ground. So even if I leave my neck exposed right now, there's no choke. Because I've scraped Hidon off my back like the gum off my shoe. I scrape him off using the ground, and now I'm safe, and then eventually I'm going to slip my head out and escape right here. So that's why the strong side for choke holds, for his rear naked chokes, is actually weaker for control.
Yeah.
You know? But the weak side, where Hidon has an underhook, which we call weak side for chokes, is actually stronger for control. And this is the most important part of understanding dynamic and more advanced back mount attack principles. Now, why don't you teach that to me as a beginner? Because you don't need it as a beginner. In a beginner, go over under, like either right here. I'm just gonna try to get up and get away, and Hidon's just gonna wrap my neck. It's gonna be so fast that you actually want to fall. I would want to fall to the strong side in a street fight with a knowledgeable, untrained opponent because they don't have this idea of sliding their back out. The only time this weak side underhook control advantage matters is when you have an opponent who knows they want to put their back on the ground.
Yes, and that's what I mentioned earlier, and we kind of went off a little bit. But I was gonna say is that when right here, yeah, if I wrap this neck, you talked about how switching has value. You don't have to switch if you find yourself in a street fight against someone who doesn't understand what I talked about, putting their back to the ground.
They don't know that.
Wrapping, pulling the arm out, and locking it up right here is more than enough, and it's faster, which has some value.
That's a bonus Grizzly Combatives tip. If the guy's trying to sit up, he don't have his over-under, and he's trying to get out, he just pull his hand out and sink it. You don't have to switch hands at all. Okay? On your test, we want to see you guys hand it off, Grizzly Combatives, but in real life, if you just wrap this with that top arm and finish it, sink it, no problem at all. All right? Cool. So now let's get into, right, what the heck is going on here with this weak side discussion, and we're going to start kind of basic weak side principles, then we'll ramp it up pretty rapidly into a more, some of the more recent innovations when it comes to weak side attacks and dynamic triple threat from the back mount.
Now, speaking of Gracie Combatives and just the rear naked choke in general, is that when the choke is wrapped, okay, we have this and this. Let me have that. What is the move right now? Just in applying this rear naked choke, most people, they take this and they go straight to the arms. They pull the arm, they expand the chest, and they, it's a lot of arm work. Using your legs, driving my feet down through his legs and pushing my hips forward.
Oh, man.
Right? It's a completely different feeling for you, no doubt.
The whole back got into the choke more, yeah.
Most people in my position who have, if you get someone's neck wrapped like this, you don't realize that this person right here, they're gonna do anything and everything possible to try to escape, from reaching back to grab my hands,
eye gouge punch,
punching me, who knows? So if I squeeze this rear naked choke by only using my arms, how long do you think it will take to render you unconscious?
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
6, 7 seconds. But when I incorporate my hooks and my hips, now it cuts the time in half.
I think it does. It's much more powerful, yeah.
If I have somebody's back, that is a serious threat. Somebody attacks me. I want to apply my whole body to finishing this rear naked choke. Now, when we're practicing with our friends and our team members, we use just our arms because we're being protective. But once in a while, apply that hip pressure and the hooks and talk to your partner and find out how much more effective it is, just so that when you get in a fight for your life, you have that to help amplify the pressure.
Epic. If you guys have back mount questions, as we go through this, just fire it. Evandro is the master question inserter, so at any time he feels we have a breathing window here, he's going to throw it in, especially if it's topical for what we're actually showing. So start firing. Evandro's back here taking care of you guys. So underhook. You want to be on the weak side from a control perspective, because remember, if I want to slide Hidon off my back, I can't do that if he owns this bottom arm. Literally, how do I get my back on the ground if he owns my shoulder? Where if this was a strong side, my shoulder's free, so I can inch by inch start to face him, and now he's lost my shoulders. So bottom shoulder control is what makes the weak side so powerful from a control perspective. And why does control matter? Because it's all that matters.
That's tricky, because that implies that there could be a point where you have full control.
Right. Well, let me just say this. If you achieve the back mount, what's your number one priority?
Control.
There you go.
But when you lose control, it's okay. So control is all that matters. But what matters more than control is controlling yourself, so that when you lose control, you stay calm, you stay cool.
And you don't lose control.
Yeah, don't lose control when you lose control. Hey.
All right, so here's the triple threat from the back mount, you guys. We're on the weak side. Hidon's head is beneath mine. Watch a few steps. Foot on the hip, shrimping the hips out. Boom, biting across my torso with his bottom leg. Head stays under my head. Chest is tight. Hips are back. So his entire body is very curled, almost like a shrimp, right? His body's kind of curled up in that manner, versus having your head way back, like this. His hips went back, so does his head. The problem is now I still have a pathway to the ground, which is this way. So to prevent that, his head comes in, his hips go out, and now there's no way to find the ground because he maintains a deep underhook and a nice cross body bite. So foot on the hip, biting across my abdomen from here. Depending on the size of the belly of your partner, this may be easier or harder. If they have a really big belly, it's hard, and sometimes it has to just kind of rest on their inner thigh right here. Wait, I tickled you?
It tickles.
Sorry, I touched your bottom of your foot?
Don't touch the bottom of my foot.
Accidental. Look, and technically that would work on the escape too. But look, so his foot is down. People always ask, if I could just, like, on Gracie breakdowns, they really write, like, the keyboard warriors who don't do jiu-jitsu, they ask, but realistically, could I just tickle him and get him off me? Like, is that legal in UFC and in fighting? Why don't they just tickle the way out of the mount? It's so funny. Look, so he has this bite. Ideally belly bite. Problem, if they have a huge belly, this leg tends to rest a little lower. It doesn't feel great, but it's important. It can happen. The only thing you gotta worry about if it rests low is if I kick my leg straight, don't let my body slide over it and get out. Okay, so keep it there. As I kick my leg straight, put it back up. Like, you're just kind of always aware. Yes, always kind of scooping it in. Perfect. So now his hips are out, his head is in, and the benefit of this is Hito's now starting to create, look at my hands, a perpendicular angle behind me. His spine was parallel, now it's starting to approach perpendicularity. From that angle, in the most basic sense, the threat that's created here is his ability to hug this arm, push my head away, look, and then arm lock from here. And then bring his leg over. Boom. And that right there, that single submission from the back mount, arm lock from the back mount on the underhook side, is what, for me, sparked all of my interest into attacking from the weak side, triple threat. All of the development that happened for me personally here was from watching him catch so many people from arm locks from the back mount, going for the choke. They would defend all the chokes, be here, and then suddenly he would just spin so beautifully. And want to show some details on just that arm lock first, then we'll get into some more isolations. Like, how do you do that so well?
Yeah, we can do the arm lock first. So, like you mentioned, the key is using the foot on the hip and getting my hips out, creating this angle. Once the angle's created, big hug, big frame, and then leg comes over the top. Obviously, if my hips are not out far enough, the leg will come over, yeah, like this. The leg comes over in a very difficult manner, and it doesn't even land in a position where I can really have strength to push him back.
Your hips were too close, I see.
Yeah, so getting my hips out, frame, solid frame, and then leg over the top.
I can't get up.
And this frame, it's very common that the frame being kind of medium and trusting my flexibility, he can now drive up and stack me. So at least more recently, I have not settled for anything less than, not only am I framing like this, because look at me a little bit, I don't like that. I want this.
Oh my gosh.
So I turn his whole face, because wherever his chin is pointing is kind of where his energy can go. It's difficult for him to bring energy this way.
Yes.
When his face is facing that way.
By definition, it breaks my neck. If I go this way, it tightens up the spine.
So framing the neck, look over here, allows for that. So turn the face.
So
and now the whole leg flies, and then I'm anticipating trying to sit up. I have to be ready in here.
Yeah.
I'm keeping the person back. Question?
Just a quick question on the arm lock. Kai was asking, he always wondered if people biting your leg, so they're afraid of the arm locks yet.
Yeah, if we're talking about a street fight, then yes, somebody.
This is very common, Kyle. Kyle, this is a very common question about biting the leg from the arm lock. I'm telling you, it's like, when it comes to arm locks in that class, it's the #1 question ever that we've ever historically gotten from people. As soon as they get there and they don't do jiu-jitsu, they say, "Wait, can I just bite you right here?" Very common, but go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to a street fight, the answer is yes, somebody can bite. But we have to remember one thing is that, you know, to even think about biting, some time has to pass. Because as much as biting is an option, people don't get into a fight and like just chomping into the air, like, what can I bite? What can I bite? That's not how people fight. I don't know why it's not how people fight. It's just not normal. Like, okay, like when you see somebody across the street you have a problem with, I'm gonna go bite them. Right. That is not the thought process. But when you are caught in a position that you can't escape, it's been 7, 10, 20 seconds. Now I can't do anything. I'm in pain. Maybe biting would be considered.
Potentially.
So, when I think about, for example, imagine this. Right now, what's on your mind?
Biting.
First of all, no. Right now, what's on his mind? An arm lock is not even on your mind.
Not even. I'm here like,
Now,
let's
listen,
get out of it. I don't know why you're on my
hold
back.
on, hold on. Unless you're you,
Then
you're thinking
triple
arm
threat.
lock.
Triple threat.
Now, someone in the street fight is not thinking arm lock. The person that would bite you has no idea what's coming.
True.
Zero. I could even say, I'm gonna take your arm.
And how would you
In the
do
cup,
that?
I'm gonna break your arm in a few. I'm gonna
That's not even
stretch your
possible.
arm in a few seconds.
That's not even possible.
When I say that, not as only possible, you don't even hear me. So when I finally hug and frame and take, and I get here, freeze, rotate, rotate, rotate. By the time you realize that your arm is caught, Okay, you're here, boom. First of all, I'm in no major hurry to pop the person's arm.
Hold on, let me try to bite.
Hold on, wait a second. That's not yet. I'm in no hurry to break the arm because I have extreme control right now. Okay, stop it, bro. Stop moving your mouth around. When I land here, I have amazing control. I hold the wrist. Depending on the threat, I can stretch the arm right away. And if I do that, the screaming that's gonna go down
Outweighs the biting that goes in.
it's hard to scream and bite at the same time.
They're opposites.
Also, they're opposites.
And he controls the screams.
I control the scream. I'm the screen controller. Rotate. And also, what Henner's trying to show us right here is that when I bend my legs and I keep my heels very tight, it's
There's
almost
no
like
bite. There is no bite.
the bite is very difficult.
There is no. Yeah.
Hey, there's a little one. I felt a little nibble.
That was
The point is, when that comes, do that again.
Ah.
Bite again.
That's called pain compliance. Okay, you put a little pain, they comply. They don't want to bite. I have one question for Kyle. Would you rather be the breaker or the biter?
Come on, get up. Kyle,
That's all
listen,
you gotta ask.
don't worry about it too much. And worst case scenario, when someone's biting you, you remove your leg
And you sit up
and you
hammer
make an
fist on the
adjustment.
back. Boom.
You change positions. Okay, let's go. Rotate back here.
So back to the angle. We got the arm lock over under. Sometimes this person's body weight on my leg restricts my hips from moving out.
The initial shrimp. Put your hooks in.
Yes.
So he has hooks, normal hooks. The initial shrimp you're talking about is a little heavy down
Yeah,
there.
it's hard to acquire it because my leg is pinned.
Yes.
How can my hip move away if the weight's on my leg?
Yeah.
So using this foot in the hip, using my grip right here, my arms are gonna extend. I extend my arms and that lifts his body. Even if it's just a half an inch, it takes a little bit of weight. And as I extend my, let go real quick. As I do this, I move my hips simultaneously because then my leg is a little less weight and my leg slipped out my knee right here.
His bottom leg is not as restricted.
Hug, frame, leg. Grab the wrist immediately and we're done. Good?
Very good.
There's a good drill right here for just understanding the hip angles and the legs coming over the head. I hook the arm, stay right where you are.
Yes.
I kind of let my leg fall off. I sit, and then my leg comes over. And then we sit up. Now he puts his legs up, and as I remove my leg, and now throwing my leg and kind of using this. I throw my leg, I pull myself up, and now I hook this shoulder. As I remove this leg, I fall to the angle, hips up, and I catch the neck. And now as he rocks, I remove my leg, and then I rock my leg, and I hook, and I roll.
And when you're saying the hip detail is the big one, you're talking about the hip elevation when there.
Yeah, hips out. Because
Yeah.
if my hips are low, the leg will land here.
So
And this is not strong. Angle, swing,
close.
underhook.
Watch how he
I'm sitting up, and now let my head fall over here. My leg comes out, my hips come up, 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 catch. Here, here. Swing, the momentum of my leg is like a pendulum. I hook, and then I fall.
Epic.
Great warm up, great thing to practice.
So this is the basic arm locks from the back mount. They were highly effective. They worked, and then people started getting a little clever.
Wait. Did you say they were highly? They were? They're
Yes.
still highly effective.
I know, but I'm saying then people got smart. My training partners. We
No,
didn't get
they didn't get smart. You just started having fun. Don't give them that much. As if people defended your arm locks.
So what happened is this: get on the back mount, foot in the hip, triple threat, bite the back, and then this adjustment, the frame, the step, the leg, the go. Very effective. The defenses to that are going to be to stop the leg from coming over the head, right? They're going to be to, in this moment of transition, I don't technically own his shoulders, so it's a little bit easier for him to start getting up or blocking my leg and then start to get up, and things started getting silly, right? So at that point I realized, okay, I can't go for the arm lock until we isolate this arm. So foot in the hip, shrimp, bite across the belly. Stay close, head tight, body bite. And at this point, I'm going to grab his wrist and sell a choke right here. He's going to defend it, and as he does, I'm going to throw it out and trap it. So now, it's almost like, think of it this way. My foot on his hip is the beginning. The foot hook is the beginning. Hip is number 2. Number 3 is arm. Number 4 is head. Right? So think of it as advancements towards the final goal. And the more steps you take, the more secure the journey. Right? Taking large leaps exposes you for accidents, trips, falls, or whatever else might come. Smaller, gradual, secure steps are always safer in any process.
A slower,
more control.
Progression, more slow
More control, slower, faster, less
So
control.
little like the idea of jumping, instead of jumping his head, just catching his arm. He's defending. So what we're gonna do is pin the wrist, defend your neck. I'm gonna pin this wrist and attack the neck right here. He has to defend the choke because this arm is already isolated, so he has no choice but to defend with his other hand. When he does that, I choke even more to force even more pull, and then suddenly we change directions and we go over. The key on that switch is I throw it out and I invert my grip. Look at my hand.
Not only does he invert his grip, but he locks out his arm so that it's almost like I can't go back. Although it's very unlikely that someone goes back because your leg comes so fast.
Correct. Boom, boom. Yeah.
But there's an extension of the arm and he's wedging it against my neck.
His neck is my fulcrum, so I choke and then I go with it, and then suddenly I trap both of our arms. This is only possible because I've moved my hips out far enough. If you have deep hooks in, like this, and you're normally on the back or like a body triangle, and you go here, if you're very flexible, you can still do it. But that requires the hips to be able to do things that some people can't do. So to accommodate that, instead, that's why we push it off the hip, we hip out, we bite up higher. Now I choke, choke, choke. As he pulls, I throw it out and I trap it. That's much easier because I was higher on his back.
Same as stepping over the head of the arm lock. The more hip angle, the more leg mobility.
Everything reaches further when your hips climb the tree a little bit. So now I've stepped over, I take my hand off, and now I have his arm trapped. Look at that, my foot's on his hip, this foot's across the body right here. They may cross sometimes a little bit, that's fine, but the key is that this foot is pinned down, not in the air. If it's in the air, he's coming right back in. So it's hooked, or your foot's on the back with the instep. The instep is right on his low back with the foot across the belly, and we remain right here. From this piece, I hold, and we have options. From here, one is to choke them. So you come under the neck, and very commonly they'll tuck their chin right here. You're gonna open your hand, put your thumb under their neck, and literally start crawling with your index fingers and your middle finger, and you climb through all the way until either you grab the gi right here as deep as possible, and then you're gonna pull this back, keeping your head very close, as deep as you can, all the way to the ear, and then take this elbow and pull it right to the mat. That's one, pull it straight back. Or no gi, you go all the way and grab the shoulder, and then pull this elbow straight back, similarly. That's the two options on the choke. Chances are he's gonna defend or try to get his hand back inside. As he tries to get back in, that's my cue. Boom. Where you go and you make it happen. So it's almost the best indicator for the go.
So the question is, why would you not keep trying to choke? Me tucking my chin is very natural. It's a very common response to my arm being trapped. Although we know that it's not the answer. Because it's a very slow death. I'm not going to stop that thumb ever.
Yeah, it's hard.
That hand's coming in. Now, so why would we go for the arm lock? Simply because my hand's trying to break free. Why not stay choke path?
That's a great question.
And is it because my arm will eventually free itself?
And it's very likely you can get it in, and in doing so, you may be able to defend this.
Because you think that the time that it takes for me to free my arm is less than the time that it takes for you to wrap my neck and choke me.
It can be the case, depending on
from
the
your
body
experience.
types. Depending on the body types, yes.
Because right now you're making them feel like when they're trying to get out, you go for the arm lock.
Yes.
That's the default for them.
Yes, no, the default should be, if you can keep this arm trapped successfully and you feel like you can, you should choke them.
There you go. So the default
is choke.
So we need to allow some time to figure out what you're capable of in terms of arm trap.
Right.
Right? Only once you know it, keep everything trapped. Go ahead, don't choke me though, but keep my arm. Like, Hendo needs to know, you trust your leg.
Yes.
You know what your leg's capable of.
So I'm catching the choke 8 out of 10 times.
There you go.
8 out of 10, the choke works.
So simply because someone tries to do this, doesn't mean you have to spin for the
Doesn't
arm
mean
lock.
jump and go, and then you lose it here, and you wish you never went. Correct.
Because going for the arm lock requires more releasing of control.
And anytime, generally speaking, the bigger move with the bigger steps required to be successful, it should be avoided. You should always take the smaller investment first for the maximum return. And in all cases, what's the return? Submission. So if I can take 2 steps, keep the body position, and choke them and get a same, win the lottery, why would I take 6 extra steps or 4 extra steps if I don't need to?
There you go.
So start with the simplest and less positional concern, and then as you feel like that might not work, then you advance more.
I feel like the big homework for them is to trap my arm. Not only, of course, getting this trapped, but figuring out how well they can keep it trapped and what kind of things are going to happen. How might somebody challenge this leg? Yes.
Let me show you guys what's going to happen on your leg trap over here, all the way. Let me show you guys how this is going to work. So there's 2 types of traps. On the weak side here, I do the choke, he defends his neck, I throw it out, I trap it. One is foot on the hip. The other is instep on the back. These are 2 options without crossing your legs, the 2 basics. Foot on the hip, instep on the back.
They're both good.
They both have strengths.
Yes.
The foot on the hip is better for preventing swim arm in. He can't swim, but he can bicep curl through the whole thing. Boom. Okay, the instep, bicep curl. Can't bicep curl, but he can swim. So which one's better?
What are people more likely to accidentally do and to stumble upon? A swim or a punch?
Man,
I
most
think the swim.
People swim more quickly. Yes.
People don't
They
realize.
try to get their hand back in the fight.
Well,
yeah.
they don't realize that they can curl it.
Yes.
Because it's a leg versus
Leg
an
versus
arm.
but they actually can. Yeah.
They actually can because of the angle. The foot's not quite ready for that.
So the swim is natural. Your arm gets trapped. All you're thinking is, can I finagle my hand back in here?
Yes. So that's why the default is the step.
That's why the default is foot on the hip. If I feel like I'm against big boy who I know knows can bicep curl, I'm gonna tuck that foot in the back.
There you go. And most people are not big boys that you roll
No,
with.
they're
There you go.
squirmy.
So that's why his default is foot in the hip.
Foot in the hip. They're gonna try to swim inside the foot, and you keep that foot there, and you're dynamic, and you're tight with it, and you listen. One thing that's as important as the foot on the hip, though, I'll tell you right now. Let's rotate back to the front. So from here, look at this. The foot goes over. You're bugging the neck. He defends. I trap it. Boom. One thing that's as important as the actual foot positioning is this arm, because you can have perfect dynamic foot. If he limp arms out of it, look. Go ahead.
So my shoulder.
Look, his shoulder's free. So this foot ability to keep Hedon restricted is only empowered by this shoulder, not letting his shoulder turn out. If Hedon's shoulder can pronate, he can limp arm out. He can slip his arm out his back and just turn.
And you can accomplish that whether you're holding hands or holding a collar.
Or going for the choke.
Yeah.
Or just
an arm there.
Just be like
Yeah.
pressure on his shoulder, yeah.
Some kind of a presence.
It's very important that he cannot turn his shoulders to the ground.
What about, is your knee pinching or not too
Yes,
much, right?
It's a little pinchy here.
A little pinchy, almost to send the message to me.
That you're under control.
Right? Because when people feel like, don't pinch.
Yes.
See, now I feel like doing crazy things.
Because you feel disconnection.
Yeah, but when you pinch a little bit, and he's holding like my armpit right here. Don't tickle me, don't tickle me.
Yeah, don't tickle.
He's holding my arm, and he's shoulder. There's just so many points of connection that a part of me says, man, I'm dead. Just take my life. But when you relax that knee, then I'm like, oh, it's sleeping, right? Or the foot in the hip, for example. There's even a little life to the foot in the hip.
Yeah, it has a little hook,
Right?
toes,
It can't just
grab.
be a foot. The foot is like conforming to my
A
hip.
little eagle talon.
Yeah, and when I start to move, it goes even more. Boom.
Yeah, everything gets real. When he gets real, I
Yeah.
go. And I'm holding. And then I start to make my advancements and creeping in on here. And then at some point, though, like I said, if I start to feel like, man, he is kind of working his way in over here, Sweetkin, his hand's about to make it through, that's when I might say, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Or if last time I got his back, he effectively swam his hand back in, I know we have a swimmer, a good one at that, I might say to myself, man, I'm not going to try to keep holding this for the choke. He's too good of a swimmer. I'm instead going to step over and surprise him with the arm lock. So once they got my number on the defenses there, I'll just switch back and forth and whatever they think. If they think I'm going to go choke, I'll switch for the arm lock. If they think I'm going to go arm lock and they're like defending, I'll go for the choke.
This is the key.
Yes.
This goes back to trap and roll and elbow escape.
Yeah, the 1-2
Right?
punch.
This
Everywhere.
goes back to the combination. They choose how they lose. I want your neck. It's not available. Something is always available. It might not always show itself in the form of a submission, but there's always something for us to do. And that might be to hold. That might be to wait. And it's up to us to play this game enough to where we actually figure out what the most efficient, what the smartest move is at any given time.
Cool. Questions? Okay, look at this. So we're on the back. Now, it gets one step deeper than that. When the guy here in Hedon's position is so clever that he does not permit me to throw his arm out and simply step over. He's read that book too many times. We're on his back. I do my triple threat angle.
He might defend, but he's not pulling beyond.
Yes.
He's more stopping you from advancing your hand
He's not letting me
than he
feed.
is trying to take your hand away.
Correct. So he's just more conservative in his
Yeah.
blockage. As soon as I feel like someone's not, I call it the slingshot, where I just throw his hand out. As soon as the slingshot doesn't apply, in my mind, now I'm looking, okay, how am I going to trap this arm without throwing it out? I still have to trap it with my leg. So right when that happens, there are different methods, but one of the main ones is to get out, get down, and get 2-on-1. 2-on-1, double C clamps on the top arm. Okay? And from that control, very powerful. I'm going to go back to his neck to distract this hand to give it a job. And now I do my one shrimp, I step in the hole, and I cross my legs. And we got him. Now we have back mount, we have attacks, back to the chokes here if we need to, or once again, tight advancement from there. So both options are still possible. This is an ultra isolation. Standard isolation slingshot, ultra isolation 2-on-1. How you get to this 2-on-1, there are no rules. You can literally get to the back mount and go like this.
That is, yeah.
There's no, you don't have to do anything first, second. You can go straight to ultra isolation. Now you should know that 80% of my isolations in the back mount are slingshots.
Why?
Because everyone responds to this the same. And they
There
all
you
grab
go.
it. It's too easy.
There you go.
Okay.
People do more than what is necessary.
People do what you expect. People do what it's expected of them.
People overreact.
People, yeah, just choke them, just pull. Okay, but let's say it didn't work, right? For whatever reason, this hand that's here, right away I start to grab one, I rip out, I grab and I feed it, we go 2-on-1. Double C clamps. Right when I get, think of his arm in a cast. See that? 90 degrees at the elbow joint, hand right across his belly. Put him in a cast. That's the important thing to remember with this 2-on-1. It's not 2-on-1, high. It's 2-on-1 in a cast right here.
Which, go back, your initial grab, when you grab it, you don't just grab it. Because even, grab it right there, push it down now.
Hard.
It's not, he surprises me. So go back to where we were.
Yeah.
He pulls his hand, boom, pop. He pushes, so now go back, we're just the one hand.
Yeah.
The moment, push it down. Now his arm is locked, and now I can't go back. Plus the second hand confirms it.
Boom, and I get my nice 2-on-1. Yeah, it's quick push down because you know they want to prevent that. Now I'm in here holding. Right when I let go and start selling the choke, you can't hang out here too long. This is a weak point in the technique right here. I have to be, if I'm not already there, now's the time to get in my triple threat.
You also can't hang out here for too long.
Correct.
The moment the second hand grabs, this one goes immediately to the neck.
And then as well, I have that to shrimp and get my leg over and trap his leg.
A lot happening, yeah.
And look how we're trapping the leg. We're stepping over, heel in the hole of that forearm.
So is that why you did one more little shrimp?
Yes. So right here, if you're a little higher, and I have my standard triple threat, sometimes this foot doesn't fit very nicely. Because remember, the previous platform was here. I did this, and it was on his hip. And that can be done from a single shrimp, triple threat, standard positioning. But when I go back, if I hold this, look, if I try to just do this, I don't have the hip flexibility, it's awkward. So I do that one more shrimp. Now, we step in the hole.
It kind of dropped me.
Yes. Let go. It kind of puts him in the pocket there. Now I let go of his wrist. This is where you're going to mess up. You're going to do this. Let go of the wrist. Look, kick out and cross over.
And you let go of the wrist because you got the wrist a different way. The leg.
That's a great
Everything
point.
is about handing off responsibility.
Look. 1,
One,
2.
that one can let go.
3, 4.
It's crazy. It's so
Everything.
much handing off.
Okay, now we got our feet crossed. This position is called reverse triangle setup. The difference is now my feet are actually crossed around his neck and arm from the back. And then from here, we're not going to let him back in the party. His hand's going to fight. Number one mistake is this.
Which shouldn't be, because go back, when you bring the leg over the top, you bring that leg and then put, no, like cross it the other way.
It's impossible. Yeah,
There you go.
This.
So then you would let go of my arm. So if
Right.
you truly keep this arm controlling, this leg controlling my arm, it would be impossible to do anything but that.
Just bring it over. But they do it. You guys figure out a way to do it wrong, even though it's impossible.
It's because you have a more comfortable way of crossing your feet. And if you try to get to that more comfortable way right now, go ahead, freeze.
Oh, that's a good way to justify
There's
it.
a hole.
You guys have your own genetic foot cross.
Correct. It doesn't matter what your foot cross
It's
is.
the same as this. This only feels natural one way. Go, lock your hands, and try doing the opposite. Do the other one. Evandro? Weird.
There you
Very weird.
What's your foot cross?
And when you hold your wife's hand or husband's hand, there's only one nice configuration for the both of you.
What's your foot cross?
Oh my gosh.
I already knew it was different.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I asked. Our generic foot
Which one's yours? That's yours?
left on top. Evandro's
Left
with me.
over right. Hidon's left over right. I'm right over left, you guys. This is such a discovery. How about do this? Do this.
That doesn't matter.
Do it, man.
We don't even do that in jiu-jitsu
Do it.
ever.
You do it. Which thumb's on top?
Right.
Right? Do yours.
It's right. I
No,
already know.
you don't know.
I know myself. It's left.
Dude, we're the same here.
So that means that we're all
can still be
we're all
brothers.
half connected.
Oh my god, this is so weird. The point Hidon's making is this.
You have your generic foot cross.
So you're one of the people who messes up the triple threat.
no. I know
Can
that.
they even see our feet right now or no? Can they see them?
It doesn't. They don't need to see our feet. You need to know
A little bit, like
that
this.
my leg goes on top. My guard is like this.
My
I
guard
don't
is
guard
like this. I never guard like this.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Everyone has a better foot hook. Point is, if you mess up the back
And
mount
you know
triple
why
threat,
mine's better?
reverse
I'll show
triangle
you.
setup.
You know why mine's better?
No, yours is not because it's the
Let
wrong
me
side.
show you why mine's better. Let me show you why it's better. It's because when you land in the guard. When you land here, this is my left on top. This is triangle setup.
It's the wrong side though.
This is the natural side for triangle setup. And you can simply grab it and keep it. It's already locked. What Henner's is like this, which means that he has to pull it down and then bite over. It's just one more step.
Let me see how I lock my triangles.
Your right on the top.
Hold on.
Your right's on top?
No.
What?
Let me cross my guard. Hold on.
No, just
Let me cross my guard. My left's on top. Go back here. My left's on top. Your left is on top. Hold on. Sit down. Cross your legs right here. Cross your legs again.
No, right here. You lied?
Hold on.
Did you lie?
Go my guard. Go my guard. Cross your feet. My left's on top.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, I'm human.
Got it. So you're with us.
I'm with us. Oh my god.
Why would you do it backwards like that?
Hold on.
Got it. So he forgot what his cross is. He's both. He's ambidextrous. Go back to the back now. The point is, if you know,
Okay, I'm healthy.
If
I'm gonna
you-
be just fine, you guys.
if you understand why your leg came over the arm and what it's to trap my arm.
Yes.
Then you're gonna leave that left heel down and the other one will confirm it.
Yes.
If you cross the other way, you create a space.
If you do this, very
There-
common.
There's a hole.
Okay, so let's go back. We're here. Question is now what? Right? Now what? 3 possibilities from here. One is the choke. We don't want to talk about no movement, choke. The problem is the way Hidon's position right now is so close to this leg that it's actually really awkward to get a choke right here. I'm too high above Hidon. Instead of behind him, I'm too much above him.
So is it an option?
Yes, it's an
But
option if I...
It's a collar option?
Yes, if I do this, watch, I have to open my knee, put my hand in the hole, start to hook under his chin, and then look what I'm gonna do with my knee. I'm gonna open my knee, and then literally I worm down his body. So I trap high, slide down the tree, because I have to get head to head, chest to back, to then be able to advance this and actually get into my choking
You
position.
don't grab the collar until you move down?
I don't actually finish it until I get low.
Okay, got it. But right there,
I might even have it here.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah, but if you start putting your back a little on the ground, it's a little awkward, yeah.
No, I understand. My point is earlier, you brought the hand in there.
It's a
and then
lot of no-gi also, but yeah. I might
Perfect.
get here and grab a hold of something now. And then start to climb down, correct.
Yeah, good to have a-
And then start to advance even deeper.
I like
I just can't get full depth or proper pressure. Because if you're in my lap and I grab this right here, it's very common that right now you lay down, look to the sky. Turn the face that way a little bit. There, it's done. No more choke. You see, there's a little angle he can make that ruins it. So that's why doing this, now do the same thing. You can't because I own this shoulder, look. And everything's so close right here. Cool, that's the one option is choke. So for choke, just remember, you have to get off the shelf. Look, I open and I gotta slide down. Even if that means uncrossing your legs, it's worth doing it. So what's the point of everything we just did? Well, think about it. Remember when the indicator was, we couldn't do a slingshot. He was too clever. So we went to 2-on-1, we climbed the tree, we step over, we cross over. It doesn't mean I don't like chokes. It just means I had to go real high to get that arm trap. Now, I can slide back down the tree and get low and do this or uncross. You see? And some of you are asking right now, what about my feet being crossed? Is this dangerous? No, because I'm not crossing for the sake of controlling his thighs. I'm crossing for the sake of controlling his arm.
It doesn't mean
Do
that
the leg lock right there. Do the foot lock.
the angle's not the best for the leg lock.
It's too high above his belt.
It doesn't mean that the person can't delay your choke a few seconds and you start to shift down and then you keep the
If you
cross.
go too much, yeah.
And you forget and then they go there. But in general, the person's focus is on defending their neck.
And if the cross is higher than the belt, even if you put your legs over now, run it way high, look, it's nothing. The cross has to be below their pelvis in order for the foot to be breakable.
Listen.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, go ahead. Right there, show them that. Boom, boom. And now he breaks my foot.
Hurts his foot.
Okay?
How
That's-
much, it just seems like so much work just to do a choke.
Bro,
It's just, right? It's so much effort, so many angles, and so much work.
right.
And the reason why it's necessary is because if you watch enough professionals, right? I have been in this position with so many people and like choke me without using your legs. You know what I mean? And I have delayed chokes for like 30
Yeah, he's too good.
seconds, a minute, no legs.
No legs impossible.
It's gonna, even if
cheap.
it's possible, like it's so much finger pulling and shoulder turning and chin tucking and hand delaying that you watch even in MMA.
Yes.
You see someone on someone's back, they're using strikes.
Yes.
Which also has tremendous value. But you're on someone's back for 40 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and it's draining. It requires a fair amount of energy. It's a lot of arm work.
Yes.
When you bring your legs in, your legs are now doing 70%
Right.
of the work, like the energy, right, that is being expended. Is it legs?
Lots of leg
It's
fighting.
it's your core and your legs.
Keeping them there.
The arm only comes in for the kill.
Right.
So it's a lot. This is what I would say that this is a year, 2 year. This the whole game. It's a year, 2 year of simply isolating
Getting
arms.
rid of an arm.
And getting rid of it and keeping it out there and then being able to identify whether you go to, like you mentioned, back to the choke,
Question from
the
crowd.
arm. You're talking about the 3 options.
Yeah, I will.
We're gonna continue. Question.
Just so you know, I'm not sure if you guys want to cover it, but people are asking for some punch protection when someone is on your back. When someone is punching, what do you do?
Correct. We'll get back to that later because right now we have to do the 3.
Let me
But we
finish
want to
it.
keep this person safe. Keeping me safe, we can address next. Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. So I'm here. Number 1 is open, slide down and choke. Number 2, if he's trying to swim inside, I hold, and if I want to go for the arm lock, I frame, boom, and I step over to avoid all that mess Hito was talking about. All that hand fighting and finger pulling, forget that. Hug the arm, step over the head. If you feel confident, and it's especially effective from here because this leg controls Hito's shoulder, which means go to your knees a little bit. I can stop him from getting up. I can really open him up and set up the step up very easily because this shoulder is under my control. Okay? And it's particularly effective when he's trying to swim under my foot. Go ahead. Because now I know he can't catch my leg coming over versus hug my leg a little. I can't step over now. Look, he's got it trapped.
Yes. Nor would you try.
I would not try if you're hugging this leg.
And sometimes if I try to come underneath here and you go ahead, frame my neck. If his leg, do the arm lock. If his leg comes over, sometimes they get up. And then you pull my hand straight and
then
he
go belly
finishes
down.
belly down. So if the person gets up, make sure that you pull
Just
their
keep
arm
going
straight
to lock their own hand.
before they lock their own hand.
If you lose this battle, win this battle.
If his weight and my weight are on my bent arm, there's no way he's gonna straighten this.
Right.
He's not gonna win this game anymore.
Tough.
But if he pulls my arm straight before I'm able to bend it,
It can be worked. Yeah, great point. If you lose the get up battle, win the arm extension battle. Just straighten it and go belly down with it and ride with those nice hooks. That's 2. Number 3, the legs are crossed here. Cross their hands. This prevents me from sliding in here for the choke because he's too congested, and then also prevents the arm lock because he's too tight. When that happens, keep your feet crossed, and then throw them across the river. Boom! And sit up. Rotate. Look, feet are crossed. Now we sit right here. Beautiful. Get even closer to the camera. We love these guys. We love these guys. Great. So now we're here, sitting up, feet crossed. How did we come again? We were here. Look, my feet are crossed. He locks his hands. I'm gonna unlock my hands. I'm gonna use my feet crossed, stretch him out, boom, and sit up. Once I sit up,
you kind of cup my bicep to help him tag along. It kind of pulls, he cups it, and it brings him up a little bit.
your legs throw him, your bicep pull tags along. And now we end up right here with this reverse triangle setup position from a seated position here. From here, there are many possibilities. One, if he unlocks these legs where I incentivize him with a little hammer fist, I can lay back. Boom. And then from here, this leg can come right over the head and you're done. If this leg can't come over the head because he's holding it, take the other leg and put it behind his neck.
Oh my goodness.
And now a little incentive here. He's going to try to swim under, and then I'm going to catch his neck on the way up. And it's called the goofy finish. So we're here, right? If I can, leg over the head. If I can't, boom. If I can't go leg over the head, take the south leg, come over, hook behind their neck, and spread this knee very low. And now put a little pressure there while trapping this inside shoulder. And then when he lets go to come around,
People might tap right here.
they might tap.
Okay.
More often than not, they try to clear this hand with the goal of coming around this knee. Like that. Okay, so as he comes under that foot, I just go boom, and I jump here, or in his armpit as he comes up, here sometimes. Cool, those are two great goofy finishes, or two finishes from the reverse leg under the neck position. And then finally, if his hands are locked, boom, and he's here, and I can't break this grip, and I don't want to punch him in the face. We're at a kid's birthday party. Look, I'm going to take my south hand, grab my own ankle on the inside. My hugging arm, grab my ankle, elbow on the mat, take the leg off, adjust, bite, and there's your reverse triangle. You can squeeze by pushing his head and squeezing your heels to your butt. You can also extend the person's arm over here, threatening the arm extended, or if they bend it, you can twist the arm, break it back that way. Perfect, two finishes. Okay? No trash compactor today.
What is? Sometimes people can't lock the triangle from the guard.
Yes.
So does that happen sometimes on this?
Yes.
I have never had that problem.
Locking
And I
the
have
reverse
not
triangle?
seen it too much when I teach this.
I teach
I have not seen too many people not be able to triangle from the reverse.
We're talking very little legs and very big neck.
Once in a while, it's very rare.
Very rare though.
It's very rare. So if that's the case,
Major disproportion.
what can we do from that triangle setup if you can't lock?
It's gonna be arm lock finish.
So you're gonna pull the arm
You're
back.
gonna get that arm straight one way or the other. Yeah.
So you're gonna break their grip
Yeah. So
from that position.
if you guys want to just, we can set it up once from here. If you don't on the weak side, He goes to work, he does double 2-on-1, he crosses his legs, I lock my hands, he stretches me, then he sits up. And from here, he now has his feet crossed under my neck and around my armpit. He has this arm controlled and I'm right here. And yeah, the question is just different for the triangle, you're gonna grab that leg, but for the arm lock, you wanna straighten the arm and somehow disconnect
Yeah,
your
so if you know your legs and you can't, then you're gonna break this grip.
And one great way to break it is a scissor stretch. So watch how he takes his south leg, puts it through the hole, this one goes
South
through.
leg.
Look at that. Now he has a scissor on this other arm over here. And I think it's no big deal, right? I'm like, oh, why did you do that? That means nothing. But as he extends this and pulls this together, I lose my grip. It's actually just enough scissor extension on my far arm to pop this, and then before I'm able to re-engage it, he's able to straighten it out all the way. It's actually really effective. As long as you chill right before they go, and then suddenly you extend them both pretty assertively when they're not expecting it. They can't grip they can't tighten their grip fast enough.
Yeah, you feel the hold tight.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel right now he's ready. He's squeezing. But that doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't last forever.
Yeah,
There comes a time where I want to just, typically when he rests, I rest. When he whisper, I whisper. When he yell, I yell.
Yeah, in every single position, right? People will be tense, and then they won't be tense.
And you have a lot to do with that. They'll do what you do.
Oh.
So if you don't want to be tense, start pulling little by little.
If I want him tense, I pull, he's tense.
Then I relax when he relaxes.
And when I breathe,
Yeah, he's tired. And then suddenly,
And I
try to go back, it's too late, you got it. Okay, big deal right there, that detail, especially on the scissor stretch when you're popping the grips. Anyways, so if that's not it, take it back out, cross your feet normal right there, and now he grabs.
So grabbing the shin, removing the leg first.
Yeah, as he goes to the elbow.
Move the leg, go to my elbow. You said you move your hips.
Yes.
Adjust.
Yes,
And
nice bite.
We don't even want to tell you where to adjust. This is for you to, move your hips. Am I moving kind of under and behind you?
Yeah, well, what happens is you're very cognizant of this calf plugging this artery. What mistakes some people make is they pull this knee so deep and round that now the gap of Hito's knee is in my artery. So for Hito with longer legs, he has to actually remove this knee and slide down my back a little bit. Like
Got it.
So his adjustment is going to be like back and down, slide your butt down my back a little bit, like that. Because now it's flush, so when you pull this, it's going to be already tapping me out right
So
here.
we don't want knee chin alignment.
No, you don't want knee chin alignment, and you don't want standard deep triangle wrap in the conventional sense, because deep is effective when you have someone in your guard facing you. When someone's behind you, you actually want the opposite. If deep means shoot this knee deeper and wrap my neck deeper. If that's what deep means, that's the opposite because I'm facing the opposite direction. So you actually want shallow, so just the calf hits that artery.
This doesn't feel shallow though, it feels deep.
Well, no, it's deep in the correct technical sense.
Yeah.
But it's not deep in the standard triangle shooting the leg sense.
Yeah.
Where you
You're
shoot
right.
the
I
leg.
didn't have to move that far, is what you're saying.
You went the other way.
Yes.
You actually removed yourself instead of shooting this leg deep.
Yeah, I was too deep.
Yes. You
Oh,
shallow
deep.
it and then you calf bite. And then he pulls it up and just thread that needle right there. Just
Pull
so I
my
can
leg
catch it.
up and then
Hide that leg quickly because if they catch you in the quarter guard as you come over, if they catch this, it's going to suck, you guys. This is going to suck.
for you it still sucks a little bit too though.
It does, but it's pretty open.
Are you
here.
gonna escape here?
No,
Brandon?
there's no escape. There's just no finish.
No, even from here?
There's just no finish. I'm not getting out.
No, you're not. And you don't feel any pressure?
There's a finish.
So,
Especially on a Saturday, 2:30, 3
No, no.
o'clock.
it has nothing to do with that. The point is that there is a little bit of
Here's what I
pressure.
know. I caught Hito like this one time.
No, that doesn't matter. Forget
Listen,
that one time.
I caught one time in Florida. Everyone, there was 200 people watching. We were rolling. I caught a reverse triangle, legitimate, like not Brother E's, like for real. I locked it. He caught my foot, and I was trying to squeeze. I couldn't get him to tap,
That doesn't mean.
and he just stayed here 100%, like holding, and I couldn't get him to tap. Hold, dip, 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 dip. Finally, I made the conclusion that if he's not going to try to get out and expose himself, and I'm not going to tap him, I need to let this go. And I let go of the triangle, and it was a terrible day.
He's joking, you guys. So, first of all, he never caught me in this position.
We have
Second
video.
of all,
She filmed it.
second
remember?
of all,
There's actual video.
the important thing for you to know is that when you catch, I probably did land here, it's true. But that doesn't mean that when you land here, it's a problem. 99% of the time, the person would tap. I'm
Yes.
just a different specimen.
Yeah, he was just found one little breathing tube, like a little canugino, you know, the little straw.
Which is a skill in itself, right? When you're in a submission, your ability to turn your shoulders and create just
It's
enough
the cartoon.
angle.
They have a straw. They're under,
Right.
they're under the lake and they have a straw in the cartoon, remember?
And they broke the, not forget that, and then there's ice. It's an isolate.
Gosh,
And they build a
isolate,
little hole.
little chisel the rock, and then you put your straw through.
Barely surviving, and then the person on top, you being someone very intelligent, you say, man, it's been 40 seconds.
It wasn't worth it.
A
I
minute,
I
I'm
knew
gonna let
what
go.
I was doing. I knew he was not gonna lose his patience and try to get out and let me catch him.
Right.
His victory was no submission right there and just hold on stalemate. And once someone good recognizes that, I go, all right, what are we gonna do? Waste 4 minutes here just holding this? It was like a good 2 minutes.
Well,
like
and
1
you
minute.
had no
He was
movements
not going. I had nothing I could do.
to advance.
Nothing.
And because of that,
Yeah, out of respect, I just go, all right, out of respect and just preservation of just do something else.
well, out of jiu-jitsu.
Out of jiu-jitsu.
Out of respect for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's true. Just respect the engagement. Excellent. So there's your full triple threat sequence. Now the next question that came up was, survival-wise for this person, how do they avoid punches if you're defending from the back mount?
So, in the middle of that whole triple threat talk, you said something about you're at a kid's birthday party and you don't want to do something.
Yes, that was true. Reverse triangle setup, seated position, and you want to make them let go.
You don't punch them. Who knows?
Yeah.
You said you're at a kid's birthday party. So you're not doing reverse triple threat at a kid's birthday party. Why not?
Depends, bro.
Because you don't need, depends on what city you're in.
Depends. No, depends who trains in the party. You know what I'm saying? His uncle, brother, cousin, we're just rolling.
He's just having fun. A kid's birthday party implies that it is used in the street,
Right.
in the real world, versus on the mat with our friends and family. So we cross very quickly into street fight, into training amongst brothers.
Yes.
We do it a lot.
We do it a lot.
And sometimes we do it so much that it kind of can be a little bit confusing. But I don't think that we're never going to use the reverse triple threat or even the triple threat period in a street fight. The
I would
chances
never.
of using triple threat in a street fight, you using it, the chances of that.
0.1%. In
Correct.
100 street fights, 0.1%. Because I won't need it. If I take your back, you're getting
No.
choked in the first 4 seconds.
No, you're not even going to take their back. You're just going to mount them.
No, but let's assuming big guy rolls
No,
over or
the
whatever.
point is you don't need it.
Got it.
So when it comes to now you,
But that's not what the question was. The
I
question was, breaking
know,
the back
I
mount.
know,
Got
that
it.
falls into the same now. Someone taking your back, or you're at that same birthday party,
Mm,
and then someone took your back,
mm.
and they know the triple threat, and in the middle of their triple threat, they start punching you or elbow you in the back of the neck.
Mm.
Do you understand? So same thing, who's gonna take your back, apply triple threat principles, controls and
Nobody.
angles, and throw elbow strikes?
They're worried about Monday and Thursday.
No, there's not elbows, they're not gonna strike you.
On Monday and Thursday at GU.
Now he's talking about days that we wear gloves
You
in
you
class.
guys are worried about people who do jujitsu
No.
who take your back and then punch you from your back.
When your friend takes your back and they throw strikes, that's okay. You respond as if you're someone being
Let me
hit.
be clear. Go back real quick.
No,
I'm
you
just
respond as
questioning.
if someone's being
Can I
hit.
even punch you
and
from the
then
back?
you get
My
them.
question is, can I punch you and hold
The
you?
answer is yes.
How?
You maybe don't have the best control.
That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about
I
that.
know, but first let's talk about the fact that
You don't need it.
you're not going to be fighting someone who does triple threat arm isolation and elbow strikes you.
This is true.
Unless you're Brian Ortega
And
or
you're
someone
fighting.
fighting in the UFC, then okay, I can see there's some value in being aware of the strikes.
But just to be clear, on a very simple sense, there is no, unlike mount, where the mount is predominantly a leg control function, back mount is predominantly a arm and leg control function. I need to be controlling this here, 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 here. I gotta be here. The second that I start doing this or this, he limp arms and he sits up right now because there's no seat belt. There's no shoulder control.
The point is that it's difficult in all positions for somebody to have amazing control and inflict serious damage.
Yes. I have to sacrifice my control in order to punch you. And I'm not willing to do that. If I had the back mount, the last thing on my mind is punching him right now.
The
The
same-
second I try, it's like a rubber band. Try to sit up a little bit. If he's trying to sit up and I let go, he's gone. That's how I feel. He'll be gone instantly. Next question.
And the same goes for submissions, right? If let's just for example, this is amazing control, and this is effectively punching somebody or arm locking somebody.
Right.
Okay, put your hand right here, right hand. This is submitting somebody with elbow strikes or a submission. If I am here, I have control. As I move towards that submission, the closer I get to that submission or that perfect strike, the further away I move from control.
Fact.
Now, I have to decide as I'm going to not fully, but to pretty much abort control and jump on
Let
this.
it go. Let it go.
And there runs the risk. If I go like this, And now I've lost control and I jump here, but then that submission also can, because it's not guaranteed, or a submission.
Oh, I
It
see.
can also be an arm lock.
I see.
Naturally, as you move towards finishing somebody, you move away from this beautiful control. So that's why it's
How do you
important.
approach it then?
Well, that's why it's important to really find victory in this control, and don't believe that right there is
Victory, and that's not.
correct. This is victory.
Yeah.
Now, in the middle of this, if this opportunity floats its way closer, right, then I can jump to it. It's a safer jump, but just being very aware that oftentimes the submission or the strike,
The question is, that's a great point. you
as
make.
you
This
control,
almost automatically happens. You think that this is a means to an end. No, this is victory, and the publicly perceived, definition of victory, knockout or submission, comes closer to the true victory, which is control, as time passes in that control
as
position.
energy is burned.
It's the distance does not stay the same. You stay there. If I stay in your back mount for 45 seconds, you will give me the submission. Then if I was on your back mount for 7 seconds and then start advancing in a triple threat
The
instantly.
100-second rule.
100-second rule. Okay, better than 45. Next question.
Fully locked VNR.
I've had once like this, like sound fluid. I'm just gonna.
Fully.
I had them once, you guys. Ever in my life, I had this. They want to know how to get out. That's the question.
No, I know what they want. You don't have to say anything except for fully locked VNR. They don't want to know how to keep it.
And for VNR, you guys, if Andra is talking about vascular neck restraint, that's the police and law enforcement version of this, because it's the
Yeah, it
accurate vascular neck restraint is what they call it in law enforcement.
Because it isn't a choke.
It's not a choke. There's no airway restriction if you do it right.
Even though it sounds cooler to say choke.
And rear naked choke sounds dope, because RNC sounds dope.
Yep,
So does VNR. So does
So
VNR.
the VNC. Vascular neck restraint.
Yes.
Yeah, VNR sounds dope too. So the neck is fully wrapped. Here's the most important thing, is that you have to understand your neck. Anytime you want to consider escaping, or doing something from the fully locked rear naked choke, you have to understand what your neck is capable of. The same way Henner has to understand what his
Leg, the biting leg.
the leg, what his leg is capable of in terms of control.
How much
He
potential
needs
does
to
it have?
know, can he keep the average arm for 10 seconds? Yes or no?
Yes.
He knows he can do that. So then he has time to make the other chokes happen.
What can you trust in yourself?
Yes. So then you need to know what you're capable of in terms of how long does the choke take before you have to tap out. Now most people tap, I would say they tap before the lights go out, obviously. But most people tap early
Yes.
to be safe, which I'm very glad you're doing that because that's very safe.
Yeah.
So once you know that like 6, 7 seconds, 8 seconds is what you have to play with, especially if you tighten up your neck muscles, it buys you a little more time, then you can be creative. And that, obviously you learn that by getting choked and just allowing it, just resisting. You don't want to black out. If you pass out, each time you pass out, you become a little bit weaker, your neck becomes weaker. It's almost like your body escapes to that feeling of passing out. It runs there more frequently and easier.
Yep.
So now, the fully locked choke, again, it's fully locked. My first thought when it's fully locked is to grab his hand, boom, behind my neck, right, and grab his hand. I would say that like 95% of the time, the hand is available. For the past couple years, we have been emphasizing the importance of keeping your head higher. Head higher, head up there, head tuck, 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 and fingers closed. But you'd be surprised how even though we've been saying that, people go back, keep the hand open, the fingers open, the head not too far back. People become complacent, and that's because they believe that they've reached the end of the line. So my first, strong neck, boom, hands. Okay, and then pull the hand down. As soon as you pull the hand down,
Show that exact grip. 'Cause your grip on my hand is very specific every time. How you reach up and you hook that little hole. This one right here. Talk about this.
yeah, I don't want to grab his here. I need a little wedge.
He's a hook. That's very important, guys. That he's going for. He's finding the hole and he's hooking this little.
I'm grabbing his fingers, grabbing all 4 fingers. I'm not isolating one. I'm grabbing all 4 because I have not more control, but I don't want to hurt him because I'm assuming now it's a training partner. Whoop. So I reach, being careful with the person's face.
Be careful reaching for hitting people's eyes. So reach back and I grab both hands, not one, both. As soon as I find, whether I find the wrist, the fingers, or both, I pull it. It should be no problem. If you grab it, you're gonna pull it.
Yeah, really strong.
And then the reason why he can pull it out, guys, because what keeps my hand tucked in is largely my bicep. Okay, what kicks it out is Hito's lats. He's pulling down with his back muscles on both arms. So there is good reason to believe that you can reach back and pull that hand out if you get the grips, if you find the grips.
The problem is that when your neck is wrapped, our first instinct is to help our neck.
Done.
And because we're so deep into the choke, this is no longer the fight to fight right here. We have to go further back.
So
to unwind it.
the fight to fight right there is here. Right now, you can reach up and grab and pull my hand is one thing.
Yes.
But the second that I rip this hand out and I'm about to lock this up, want to show that second fight?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
first
thing is
second.
this. So
First fight.
the first fight is don't let the neck get wrapped.
2-on-1.
Both
frame.
hands are holding him strong. Maybe when you hold hands, if he lets go of his hands, I can loop the arm around and slip away. The second fight is the moment he wraps my neck, I pinch his wrist. Pull your hand out. I delay his hand pulling out, keep my head heavy, and I start finding his wrist right here. Second fight. Slow down the retraction of his second arm and keep my head tight. Lock it up. Lock the choke. Because the third fight is as his hand goes behind my head, I took away. Maybe this is the second fight.
This is second. First is he
Yeah.
wraps, you pull. Second is he wraps, pulls out, you don't let him slip his
So
hand.
the second fight has multiple parts. The first part of the second fight
That's
is
it.
pinning the hand, pull the hand out,
I see,
delaying
I see,
this.
I see, I see.
Head heavy.
Got it.
Simultaneously, those are both happening. My head is heavy. I'm getting a little bit of breathing room now because of the fact that I'm arching back so much.
Yes. You guys, he's driving his head into my clavicle and under my chin so hard right now that there's not even space to breathe.
How many pounds of pressure?
I would say 30.
30?
Yeah, that's 30 pounds.
Driving my head into his
Very
chest.
heavy back and head pressure. Which then I pull my arm
As
out.
he pulls his arm out, I kind of can lift up my elbow. Go back.
Why is that so good?
Because go directly behind my neck with a direct shot. Go back again. Do it again.
I can't.
Now hold your
I have to do
bicep.
this,
Yeah, and it exposes everything.
So
But this is all phase 2.
I'm trying to get in, I can't. So he has an elbow high, which prevents the direct shot. So the only way to lock is my bicep, unless of course we go gable grip, which would be a different defensive system we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so phase 2 is grab that arm, don't let my. But this pressure of the head is the number one underestimated. And the reason why it's so uncommon is because it's so counterintuitive, right? In order for Hito to drive his head back and into my chest and clavicle, he has to open up this neck. So the way we talk about it is you have two chins. You have one chin here, press it up, and you have another chin here. So we talk about, for the first choke, tuck your chin. He tucks his chin, he starts fighting my hand and defend, right? That's the first chin. But if the first chin gets beat, and I get under it, and I pull this hand out, now tuck your second chin, which is this chin. Now I can't get in back here. So one chin, two chin. And then now he starts to reach back, pull the hand, he gets 2-on-1.
Once I hold this, he can hold my collar, all kinds of little things. I need to, collar's a little advanced, but I'm fighting the hand a little bit and I'm turning.
There you go.
I need to turn the angle and take away the elbow
Go
drag.
back, and if you have that wrist grab, and you feel like you can't reach his hand, he swims in, look, boom, and now he has all kinds of access against the guy who has bigger arms. You can't go around, you gotta go in. Either way, he kept the grip of my wrist. Look, he comes in, and now my hand's back to his armpit, and then he can reach up and find this, and pull straight down right at my thumb, and then insert. Excellent.
Next question
That was,
is,
that was the 2, and then the 3 we already talked about. Okay, we peel it out. So 3 layers of defense. Early chin tuck, hand fighting. Second one is secondary chin tucked behind my head, into my clavicle. And then the third one is if I get in, which should never happen, fully locked. And then if they gable grip at any point during all this, he's gonna reach up and grab my thumb. Normally one hand should be enough to pull down. He's grabbing right here on the thenar eminence, he's hooking it. One hand should be enough. If it's not, grab it. His other hand grabs his own elbow and pulls together. They both pull down, and then he puts his frame inside, and then changes his grip, and now you can frame it over his head and be gone. Hold.
and even right now, like, pull your arm out.
Can't.
Like just staying here, because it's almost like the moment I frame, one would argue that like I need to go somewhere and turn, but even just, woo, like right here, spending a couple seconds right here, here, like, I'm not too worried about where we end up after escaping something like that.
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
I don't care. Maybe not you mounted on me if I could have a choice.
Yeah.
I mount in my guard, me on top, just be safe.
So next question is how to escape or defend against the body triangle. This is very common. It's a hard one to practice in the gym though, because
Not everybody has.
not everybody can body triangle, 6'4" legs. So it's just hard for everyone to body triangle everyone. I did it the other day, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're still on back front chapter before Corona hit the world. And we had a good, I think we had a productive class, and I just had all the biggest guys in the class triangle all the small bodies. It was great.
Point being, body triangle is devastating. If it's locked, it's permanent, it's solid, it feels very devastating.
It's a good control.
Yes.
I've seen a fair amount of people using this, like just being on someone's back and like
just
hitting.
they just stay here.
Especially in
So-
MMA, I've seen Hoyer do it a few times,
Boom.
very successfully, and he obviously understands there's, well, even before we do the escape, we should do the submission.
Yeah, the leg lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. That's part of the escape. The point is still talking about the control itself. It's great. What's the limitation of body triangle as a control? It's that it's so heavily controlled. It's so much control that there's no dynamic hips. I know that really the only submission Hidon has right now is choke. He can go for a bow and arrow choke, or he can go for a rear naked choke. That's it. So if I'm able to lock down, just kind of lock him here, go 2-on-1, pretty much shut down his submissions, and I'll defend, and I'll fight, and we'll keep going here forever. Never let him grab a collar. It's going to be a fight. He'll get tired. I get tired. Who knows? But he can't do any dynamic hips. If he unlocks this and starts climbing the tree, go ahead. Unlock your legs. Start climbing the tree. Look. And start getting here. Now, everything changes because there's so many more threats when he does that. So just keep that in mind from an offensive perspective. Don't think that because body triangle is so tight, it's so great.
I guess it depends on what this person's doing.
Yeah, if they're trying to get out, it's great. If they're just sitting here defending,
There are times where the person's moving so much that you might feel like, oh, just
just
be here.
hold.
If your goal is to submit them though, and they're a little more experienced, know that you're limited.
There
in
you
your
go.
submissions.
So that being said, now from my position, what do I do? Here's first thing to keep in mind. In order for Hidon to be effective with the body triangle, he always wants to have the body triangle on the top side of my hip, okay? On the top side. That's very important. Meaning, if I push myself across, if I walk this way, and I push, watch what he's gonna do. He's gonna switch, and then lock it on the top over there. That's normal. Okay, on the other side, I'm gonna drive off my legs, I push up, he switches right there, and catches it in the middle. Once you understand that, you know that in order to disrupt this body triangle, what you need to do is get to the side where the triangle is on the downside.
Why do they have to switch?
They do, because you're gonna get leg locked in a second.
Got it.
You don't want the triangle on the bottom if you have a choice.
That's why they're doing that.
Yeah, oh, exactly. So I need to be able to prevent him from switching, right? That's how my success of my escape will be, is keeping his triangle and laying on top of that side. So here's how, you're not gonna get out on this side. There's no escape. It's too ridiculous, too tight. So check this out.
Well, there's no
No opening. It's just shut. The door is
It's
shut.
the leg. Over here though is the joining of the two legs.
So I'm gonna fall on this side, but here's the key. I'm gonna walk my legs up. I'm gonna push off the ground, push off with my hand and my foot, and I'm gonna cross. But when I do this. So there's no switching of the triangle. I put my leg out.
And if I
my
try,
elbow. If you try, it's open.
I open everything.
So he's gonna keep it tight. So I'm gonna try to. He's not gonna be able to. So as a result, we're gonna land. The key was I crossed the river, but I created a wall in the process, and then we fell on top of the leg. So now here we are. We're on the strong side now. Potentially could be weak side, but we're on this side. His leg is trapped on this side. Now switching is gonna be very difficult. At this point, I want to open it and bring his foot in, and I want to trap this leg of his right here, boom, underneath. And I want to drag myself a little bit north, so his legs are as low on my hip as possible. So I've caught his foot. I've pushed his knee down with my elbow. I'm defending my neck still. And then when I feel ready, I'm going to push this as far open as I can, literally until it's completely about to pop his ankle. And then I do a little hip drag, and it's done. How far you push this knee matters. Right here, I have nothing. But when you stretch out, if you want to cut a rope, what do? You pull the rope as tight as you can. And then with a little knife, you just go like this. One little touch, and then boom, the rope pops. But if the rope is loose, no matter how weak the rope is, the knife doesn't cut it, even if it's a piece of thread. Try cutting a loose piece of thread with a knife if the thread is hanging loose. And then you pull that thread tight, one touch, it pops.
That's so good.
Is it crazy?
Yeah, I knew that too.
Open this.
We never said that.
Look, push as far. And what's happening is Hidon's ankle that's in the body triangle, the one that's inside the triangling of his other knee, it's just a little bit, his toes are stuck, but his ankle is sticking out. And that's what is amplified by pushing this. I'm pulling his ankle out even more. So all that remains is his instep stuck in the bend of his knee. Now I push off my back foot. I keep my hands straight here. He might be trying to choke me right now, but I'm willing to take that risk. As we go here,
Well, it depends.
well, go ahead.
Because you don't need to use two hands right here.
I can do one.
Right? You
Yeah.
can also wait.
Yeah.
Because defending your neck is the priority.
He's here.
I'm
We're
here.
here.
If you just
Sit
simply-
tight. I feel good right now. I'm going. You see? And now I go. And now I go.
There you go. So you said it earlier. I'm still defending my neck,
Boom, boom,
and
boom.
it is true. It's possible. Sometimes people have longer legs,
Yes.
and my ankle right here is
Deeper.
deeper through, which means that it's
That's compromised. Yeah.
So right here, this is where my body triangle is. Throughout all of this moving, my foot slips out.
That's what I'm trying to create.
Correct. And when you push, it slips out even more.
Right here.
So now, as he lifts his hips up, my toes are stuck, and then it just Boom.
But if this is a little deeper, there's no break. That doesn't exist. There will be no pressure. He's safe.
These kind of things happen when
Naturally.
you have somebody who's
Length
6'3".
Yeah, and your tiny little waist, yeah.
Yes, these things happen, and then you get to the side and you drive your hips, but there's not pain. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of shin in the calf, but that's not even
That's
enough.
not breakable. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So the point is, there's a right configuration. There is a window of body types through which, if they're too thick and too short legs, they'll never body triangle you. If they're too long triangle legs, you might try to break their leg, it won't break. But if they're in the middle, where we can lock the triangle, but it's tight, that's the best one, because that means that rope is going to be stretchable, which means it's cuttable, which means it's breakable. All right?
I think the most common, that is the most common.
What?
Legs here.
Yeah, very much.
5% of the time,
Yes.
I have noticed people that have long enough legs to get it this deep.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. Like, I'm thin body, and Guido has long legs, and even his legs, long against my thin waist, is breakable. So this goes to show you that unless I was half my size, then it would be more difficult. But nonetheless, let's go back. So we're here, he triangles. Let's say we're in a situation where we tried to catch this, we weren't effective, or his leg is so deep in the triangle that I even trapped his foot and I was not able to make it happen. Now some people like to do this move underneath. We'll go back, where they trap the leg this way. And then they do something like this and they go and they pressure it. It's not as good. Yeah, it's not as good. Here, it's not as good. Going over, catching it, driving it as far back, like a scorpion's tail. Run that foot back so his foot's as tight as possible, open as much as possible, and then drive your left hip. Like, don't just drive both hips, do this with your
Right,
hip.
so
The spoon.
you're targeting that
spoon.
foot.
My pelvis is a spoon. I'm
Oh,
scooping.
that's so nasty. I never thought of that.
My left hip drives in and up and scoops underneath the foot. Great. So now, let's say that's not working here, I'm having trouble. So at this point now, I get to the point where I go, man, this is a not breakable triangle. Look what we're gonna do. Underneath elbow escape. Shove it forward, put the hook inside. Like that. Triangle your legs tighter? He can't. The triangle is open now. So now that I've compromised the triangle, because he wants to have it shut, I want to keep it open. I put my fish hook and I chill. Attack the neck a little bit. Now we're playing. Then I do this frame. Then I do this. Now I've opened this and I've solved this. Attack, recover this back to normal. Don't let him. And then suddenly I grab and I frame his pelvis.
Frame his pelvis by turning his hips, go back
And then I try to spin to my elbow and get inside here.
Rewind. So it's almost like by turning, once you grab it, go ahead and grab it.
Look what I'm trying to do, guys. And the grab is important. I chill. I can't go in and hands my neck. So I have to play this game now for a little while until I'm effective at framing this out. And then locking this down. And now I'm going to grab that foot. So I'm going to do a quick little sit up and slap his foot from the top, not the bottom. I go, boom, here. Now, he can't pull me back because he's pulling against his own foot.
And when he turns his hips, it pops my foot out from where my knee is.
And I swing my legs towards him at the same time, so I end up almost perpendicular to him, which allows a very easy pivot here. So I go from here, I go, boom, and my elbow comes in, watch out for that triangle. So as soon as I land, I normally don't get up in one go. Go back to triangle, I do this, I go, where are you getting a frame here? And then I'm very much like, up, inside, facing everything, right?
Again, because I just had your back and I had you in a fully locked triangle.
I'm just happy.
You're just happy. There's nowhere else to be. If you rush to get up, that's when you don't notice the leg coming over the neck.
Excellent.
That move right there, this is this.
Yes, right? They're all this. That is this. Fully locked rear naked choke. Fully locked body triangle.
This moving. Right? You fight the hand.
Wow.
The same principle, right? And then you change the angle.
Next questions?
You unwind.
You can ask for some philosophy questions right now.
Yeah, any
Life
questions you guys want?
Any life questions?
Back, anything else you want to show from the back that you're just defensively or offensively? I can show you guys the parachute if you want, my favorite escape that I do all the time.
They were talking a little bit about surviving, like how do you survive the arm lock or the choke, and how do you stay before those advancements that we showed?
Here's what it is. Here's what we gotta talk about is if I have your back, okay, and even just sitting up like this, even just sitting up, right there, freeze. What is your job right now? What are you supposed to do? What do you want?
Back on the ground, neutralize the choke, mainly stop your progress.
Correct. So stop the progress. So that is the talk, right? We talked about it before. But let's just, all of you need to observe yourselves. Once you're back on the mat, in who knows when somebody takes your back, what is the first thought that comes to your mind?
is it, I don't want this person on my back? If that is the first thought, and you even said right now, back to the ground, which he's saying it's a very minimal, a very healthy attempt to put your back to the ground.
Yeah.
Correct? It's not back to the ground trying for 20, 30, 40 seconds.
Right.
But ask yourself, when someone takes your back, is your first feeling, I gotta get out of here. This is dangerous. This is bad. If that is your first feeling, then there's a good chance that you will do things that will end up causing even more problems for yourself. And a very simple example is this, like, let's say we fall over here to the strong side, which things are good right now for you. And Hannah talked about earlier how my control is not the best right now because you can turn your body, turn your back to the ground.
Okay.
No, turn your hips, free yourself. You see, and it's true, my control is not the best, but at the same time, freedom is not so available. It's still a fair amount of work. So it's not impossible for someone to have your back and you to be here and you to feel like, man, I can't get my back to the ground. Turn your neck a little bit. Now, what might you do next? Assuming that you cannot turn your back to the ground, your arms are there. People might start using their hands to fight my hooks, for example. There, freeze. And now, maybe his neck's available. So just be aware, right, that your hands, grab my tricep, him staying right here, sit right there. This is him telling me that all he wants to do is stop me from wrapping his neck, and he's in no major hurry to escape. So that's where I feel most people need help when it comes to not only back mount oppositions, but back mount right now, for example, someone gets your back, you need to change the mindset that says, this is a bad place to be. Because that means you want to go somewhere else, and then you do what? You drop your hands that should be defending and holding and waiting, you drop them to escape, and now the neck is available. Okay? One more question?
Well, let me pull in some friends here.
Live questions?
And then we'll do some of those, yeah. So here's our giveaways today, you guys. If you haven't seen it, this is the one. And then we'll do some final questions. Look at this, guys. This is the Dry Flip 2.0 rain jacket, nylon fabric, water resistant. Look at this, how beautiful. Feels great. It layers up. This is a great layer. It doesn't have, you throw it on top of a hoodie if you're in the colder territory, but if you're in California and it's just raining, or Hawaii, or Costa Rica, or Brazil, this is all you need. It's your one layer with your t-shirt. You go out there, it's pouring, you come out of the rain, you're good to go. But unlike any other rain jacket on the planet, look, it stopped raining, right? I have my hood, I'm here, got full coverage, got all the way up to the next scuba hood. You got drawstrings if you need them.
Get your mask, your mask and your glasses.
You got your mask, your glasses, your gloves. This comes off, right? Look at this. You shake it off the rain like, boom. All the rain droplets come off. And by the way, waterproof zipper and pocket zippers and front zipper, all waterproof. So you put your stuff in there and you can secure it in the rain. But look at this. For those who've never seen the inside of a quick flip rain jacket, look at that. On the outside, fully waterproof. That. So there's the inside. I'm going to reach in. It's like magic. I'm going to go one grab. We'll do it slowly so you know there's no sleight of hand. Look, one little pull. Look, literally one. Look at that. Now you turn it over. In goes your rain jacket that you just shaked off. One snap down, and now look at this. It turns into your rain backpack. It turns into your rain backpack. Here's the best part. The backpack is waterproof on the lining that touches your back. So when I do this, the interior is waterproof so that I don't get wet. But the exterior is breathable so that it airs out while you're wearing it throughout the Disneyland, whatever park that you're in, or walk that you're going on, or jungle that you're hiking. Do you guys understand? So breathable exterior, waterproof inside, so it actually airs out and doesn't get moldy. Now, you open this, and you can look, you can put another jacket, can fit inside your own jacket. You could easily put your kid's jacket so when it stops raining, you're good to go. And then inside there, you also have your wallet, keys, and cell phone pocket on the inside. So you have special pocket there. These are so dope. And I like the camel ones so much, personally, that I had a special one made for me. Look at this. We printed some other t-shirts. I was like, yo, send over one of the camel ones, have them hit the same logo, it's just a print, right? Have them throw my quick flip, dry flip jacket on the runner, on the panel, and they hit it for me. Now I got that on the backpack, and then when you go in, and this one comes out, you've got it here on the pec also. Boom. This one's only one exists in the world. So I'm not giving this one away, this is my personal one. There's no, doesn't exist.
Oh, you're talking about with the logo on it.
That doesn't exist, that doesn't exist.
Okay, that's all what they want is they want a logo on it.
Sorry guys, I love you, but that was mine. Listen, right now, we're gonna give you a classic quick flip, okay, logo-less. Okay, so you can be like James Bond, you gotta be undercover sometimes. You can't wear Gracie everything all the time. It's important that you go in and they don't know, oh, is he deadly? We don't know. Where does he train? What rank? We don't know. But you can have the quick flip so you still have that MacGyver feeling of converting and still having that ninja feel without giving away your rank or your dojo.
Got it.
Okay? Black or camel, you get to choose, okay? And we'll let you know once we pick the winner right now. I'm gonna go over there. You guys know what's going down with quick flip. If you don't own one yet, if you missed the drawing today, CTC FAM, same code as Gracie Store. We have that going in the quick flip store. CTC FAM, 20% off everything, including the dry flip. We have a few left. They're gonna sell out
If
soon.
it was anybody's first time seeing the quick flip conversion demo,
You
I
guys,
would love to know if it's your first time seeing that. It might be someone's first time.
if it's someone's first time seeing that, I'm disappointed.
Because you didn't give them the full.
The full boom, boom, tied around your waist.
Yeah.
Boom. Watch Shark Tank. It's on YouTube,
Watch
you guys.
Shark Tank.
The Sharks know what's up. I'm gonna go pick a winner. Hito's gonna talk to you guys about the journey. Enter your names, guys. Come on. Who's gonna win the dry flip?
He just threw it on me. Talk about the journey.
Well, what's the number one advice they all need? Don't enter twice. James, don't enter twice.
Don't enter twice, you guys. Only enter once.
Who's gonna win
You
this?
guys, back mount. I talked about it the other day when we
Bro,
talked
no one's
about
putting their rank. No one's putting their rank.
rank. CT. Where are you from? Where do you train?
If
What's
you don't put your
CTC?
rank, that tells me you don't
Rank.
listen.
And obviously, that's it. Rank and CTC.
Yes. Keep talking to him, you know, about
Yeah.
some really important stuff.
The real important thing for you guys to know is that when you find yourself in a position, because when I think of back mount, I think of somebody on my back. Right? I don't think of me being on somebody's back attacking, even though I love arm locks and the triple threat and chokes. I love all that. It's very fun. I'm more curious to know who out there can submit me if they're on my back. So, and that mindset is so strong in me because I also carry the mindset that every position is of equal value. Whether somebody is on my back or I'm mounted on somebody. In the world of practicing jiu-jitsu, it's all the same. There is not, one is not more exciting than the other. I'm not afraid of one and excited about the other or happy to be in this position. So because it's all equal, because it's all serving the big picture objective, which is understanding and comfort in not only worst case scenarios, but in all positions, everything is feeding to that. So play all angles and let people land on your back and tell yourself that this position is not bad, which the truth is not bad. The position is neutral. Somebody being on your back is neutral. What is bad is somebody being on your back and you having no idea what they can do and you feeling like you need to escape when they're in full control and now you're burning energy. And when I say bad, I mean it runs the risk of you being submitted, of you exhausting yourself. So really, the position is not bad. But if somebody's on my back, they can do arm locks, and they can do chokes, and they can do triangles. They can potentially strike while losing some control. If somebody mounts me, it's not bad. They can do submissions from the top of the mount. But I can also do back mount escapes. I can also do mount escapes. The position is neutral. That is the message.
All right, friends, we have our winner of our dry flip rain jacket, Sean Patrick. Is it Orley? And he's a Gracie Combatives belt holder, and he trains at the CTC in Louisville, Kentucky, that is run by none other than Alan Manganello, the famous Alan Manganello. And congratulations, Alan, great work out there. Thank you for everything, both GST and CTC. And Sean, congratulations on your Gracie Combatives belt and on persisting through the journey here. We're glad to have you as part of the family. and now you're gonna be better for that Louisville rain. You're gonna be set. So just let us know. Tell Alan what size you need and what size you need and what color, black or camel. We'll hook you up. And also be sure to let us know everyone else. The sizing of these things fits a little loose. Okay, so they're a little bit because they're meant to be layered over. So I wear a large hoodie and it fits nice, perfect. I get a large one of these. It's a little fluff on it. So if you want it to feel tighter, maybe order a size down. If you don't mind, then it's a layerable garment. Order your regular size. Whatever you wear regular, order the quick flip. And they're kind of more skewed towards men's sizing, even though we don't have women's sizing. It's kind of unisex. It's a little bit on the larger side because it's meant to layer over another garment.
Exciting. I don't even own one of those.
You don't deserve both of them.
No, I know.
I'll
I
let you borrow my
deserve
greasy one. I'll let you borrow my greasy
Yeah,
one.
please let me borrow it, yeah. I just, just keep throwing stuff away. Evandro influenced me too much.
Got it. You're trying to downsize. You don't trying to simplify his life. Have less things. But my theory is this. I don't care how simple.
Well, you need to have one rain jacket.
Thank you.
You need to have one.
Thank you. And if you're gonna have one, it might as well be two things.
I know, of course. My point is I don't even have one.
That's what's up. You deserve one.
I need to get one.
That black one's yours. If you want
Thank
black,
you.
the camera, we've got you. All right, you guys. Much respect. We'll see you guys. Keep studying. Keep practicing. Thank you, Evandro. Want to put the camera on? Say hi. Want to say something?
Evandro's just grateful. You know,
He's
he's
just
the
grateful.
grateful one.
Everyone, thanks Evandro. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you guys for coming in. CTCs, thank you guys for holding it down. Students, make sure you guys are logging in Master Cycle every week. Study, study, study. Practice, practice, practice. This counts. If you get down and drill this, and we're gonna get you credit when you guys get back to class.
This counts for so much.
If you do all these techniques right here, it's 2 or 3 classes on your card, for real.
It's like a seminar.
If you can bring this back and demonstrate everything you just learned proficiently, I'm gonna make a case for you with your CTC. It might be 2 checks instead of 1.
Right, it could be a hole. Yeah.
No.
It could be a stripe.
Don't give too much, bro. We gotta work for this, you guys. All right. Thanks for
Thank
joining us,
you,
guys.
guys.
We'll see you next time.